Hi, everybody. How are you today? Thanks for tuning in. My name is Ruth Ratliff. I'm a voice professional, vibrational sound therapist in New Jersey. And I happen to have with me today one of my colleagues, Bertharis Lantigua, who is also a vibrational sound therapist. I had this idea to join with her today in this meeting because I saw one of her posts recently where it sounded like she had a huge breakthrough at one of her sessions. And I thought, well, how amazing that would be to speak with her about it. I don't even know, I don't even know, I haven't heard it yet what the breakthrough was, but I just really felt that it would be something very important to share with you. That sound therapy meaning in all its aspects, whether it be with the singing bowls or with one's own voice, can be transformative not only for our clients, but also for us as the practitioner as well. And I want to welcome you today, Bertharis, and thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, I'm always so excited and happy to connect with you, to be with you. And I love the idea of sharing our experiences, not just with the people that we serve, but our own personal transformation in providing what I like to call is it's medicine because it's been one of my medicines for now 5 years. It's been 5 years since we took the Vibrational Sound Association training in June. So and so much has come from that, so much, and I'm excited to share
Yes,
that with you today.
thank you. Yeah, definitely. I've absolutely noticed the biggest shift that I notice about, and then we're going to get to your story, obviously, in myself, is what I always talk about is resiliency. You know how life doesn't go like this, life goes like this. So, what do we need to change, right? We need to change what we can change, which is ourselves, which is whether we react or respond to life's ups and downs. So, sound therapy has absolutely given me that more centeredness, groundedness, that in that deep well of quiet inside of myself where I can take a breath, stop, and choose in the moment how I'm going to respond and hopefully not react. And am I perfect at it? No, but I've noticed that very definitely in my life because, you know, you don't sweat the small stuff, right? It just gives you kind of a frame of reference, a different perception. So please share with us what you felt, what
Yeah,
happened.
so I'll go back. I would say a year and a half ago is when I reconnected with you because we did the vibrational sound therapy training 5 years ago. And since then, I did not connect with you again until a year and a half ago when I was ready to heal my voice. And I have experienced trauma around speaking, about just hearing my own voice, using my voice, feeling safe in using my voice. And I reached out to you because I remember you were a voice teacher, a voice professional. And I said, Ruth can help me. And that's when I learned that you had just put out your beautiful crystalline voice training. And it really helped to shift me and applying all of your teachings and practices where I gained more of a confidence in feeling ready to step out into the community and share vibrational sound therapy, not just as a one-to-one modality, but as a group offering. And that's what I've been focusing on for the past year and a half is just bringing these instruments to the people, to the community, different centers, even private events, and it's just so beautiful. The feedback that I hear after every session, it's just transformative, and that's just 1 hour of receiving this medicine.
And if you think about it, so the clients are getting 1 hour, and I know when we're in a session, obviously you're facilitating the session, so it's a different experience, but you're still getting all of the benefit of the beautiful vibrations and frequencies. And you're
Yeah.
doing it several times a week if we're lucky, right? Or playing them at home, the bowls or whatever, the monochord or the gong, which I love to pound on once in a while.
That's on my list of
to get.
instrument.
Right. So yeah, so you basically you were answering the call. And even though you probably had these reservations, you stepped up.
Yes.
And right. So there's something underlying it, to feel the fear and do it anyway. And then to keep getting these amazing affirmations from your clients, as well as the changes that you see in yourself as well. And again, this last one, this last aha moment you had sounded really significant.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to offer a vibrational sound therapy at a library. And so my studio is in Haworth, New Jersey, and the library is right behind my studio. It can't get any more convenient than that. I could walk there. And they were very open and receptive to want to offer it to the community. And it filled up very quickly within, I would say, less than a week. We put 12 spots out. The 12 spots were filled up, and there was a waiting list. And every time I saw someone, get on the waiting list, it was just so much excitement in me. And I just kept hearing like they're ready, like everyone's ready. Everyone is wanting something. I don't know if the word is different, but we're seeking more than what we've been told of.
What?
And so I never know what to expect. And not that I try to put any expectation out there. I'm learning to just show up. Like, and that's all that we could do is just be who we are, show up with the things that have created such change in our lives, which to me is vibrational sound therapy, and provide that for others and just let it be their experience. And so I don't call it getting nervous anymore. I call it just getting excited and just that adrenaline rush. And to me, that adrenaline rush is proof that I am living on purpose, living on purpose. So I no longer call it anxiety. I don't give it that label of anxiety or I'm nervous. It's just, I am so pumped up. I'm excited to share this. Look at how many people are coming, not to see me. They're coming to experience something that they felt called to.
Yeah.
And I always say, just be open to receive. Just be open to receive.
Hmm.
And
That's
I think it
wonderful.
was just the feedback that I got at the end because you never know, right? You never know how receptive the audience might be. And many of them, I would say more than half of them have never experienced sound healing. They didn't even know what a singing bowl sounded like by striking it. So to be at an event for an hour to receive that, to me, that's huge on their part to give themselves that opportunity and to receive. And they immediately right after they're like, when are you coming back? Is the library going to keep doing this? Is it going to be a monthly event? How can we let them know to keep this going? And that was such an emotional moment
Mhm.
for me to be a part of this, right? To be a part of spreading this, to putting it out there and sharing it.
Was it due to the like the overwhelming um, affirmation that people were giving you? Is that what came into you and made you sort of feel, yes, this is absolutely where I should be, what I should be doing, and I can do it?
Yes, it was the overwhelming response from the people of wanting vibrational sound therapy, of wanting to receive more of this. And I just started thinking like globally, like, oh my goodness, like we all want this.
Are you having sort of a sense, maybe an underlying sense of self-doubt about, I'm not sure, am I doing this right? Do people really want to hear this? Is this something that it has been a part of your experience
Yeah,
as a facilitator?
it is. And I know it's a part of other facilitators' experience too, being a human also and having these thoughts come in.
Yep.
And when they do arise, I just push them aside and say, I am here for this. I know 100% this is what I'm here to do. And kind of take the responsibility off of me and the person's experience. And all I could do is show up, be an open channel, which is what I like to do right before I begin, is just connect with the breath, connect with the heart space, and just release expectations. And I say that out I say that out loud as well. Like I release myself of expectations. I invite you to release any expectations that you may have of yourself in this experience or of me. Just be open to receive.
Mm.
I believe that takes a huge pressure off, because when you go to receive, right, when we go to receive anything, we kind of hold this expectation of it has to be a certain way. But when we just free ourselves from that and just show up to just what is, let it be what is. And I'm meeting myself in this moment, in this present moment. And it's that practice, right, of returning to the present moment.
We are in this body, and we are meant to experience it and go through all of that. That's the whole point of being here, I think, right? Is we are spiritual as well. We have those energetic aspects of us, but we are also here to revel in, to enjoy, to accept, to be, just be in this beautiful body. And right, but then there are definitely challenges to that, and I think that's where a lot of the work that you and I do can help people to manage, to absolutely manage the ups and downs, as I was saying earlier, with the resiliency and the deep relaxation and allowing your nervous system to reset itself. So back to what your experience. So it's almost like all this time you've been working, and this last session, this last sound bath, for some reason, it was the level, I think, isn't it sometimes the level of the people that are in the sound bath, that are in your event, right? When they hit a certain level, vibrational level, you and they sync up
Yes.
more, right? And I think that may be what happened, because it was like all of a sudden you got, oh, I got it. Yeah, this is something people want. Like, and that communicates, doesn't that communicate to, they want me. They want what I offer,
Mm-hmm.
what I can give them, what I am freely giving them. Maybe not free, but what I am giving, what I am giving them in the moment of me, it
Yeah.
is being received.
Yeah.
And that's what you get. So you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yes, it's the gift of what I received, what they received is the gift of being yourself. So I broke through. I was breaking free of fear in using the voice. And if I didn't make that decision a year and a half ago, like this experience probably would have never happened, right? I wouldn't have experienced the presence of each person in that room. But that's what I keep telling myself. It's we can give the gift of being ourselves, right? Not being put on this pedestal, of just being in our vulnerability. And that's something that I am, I think, very good at, especially in one-to-ones and even more in group settings. Just think that's what we want to feel, right? I think that's a frequency in itself. And that's something you can feel, a person's openness, their vulnerability, their just being raw and not completely manicured.
Oh, absolutely. Their acceptance of that, of themselves in that moment. They're right. To be vulnerable, it is the greatest type of strength, I think, to allow yourself to be vulnerable in the moment, especially not only with other people but with yourself too.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, because in the vulnerability there's such clarity
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
It's just so pure. I think
Yes.
it's just that pure
Yeah.
essence.
Yeah. And I think that's what the sound therapy, I noticed that people get, don't you notice people get, there's a certain shift in their face. You can feel it.
Yes.
There's an energetic shift, of course, but you actually see it in their faces. Their faces are brighter
They're
and
glowing.
they're glow. Yes.
Their
Yes.
eyes are brighter. It's almost like you see the mask. This
Right.
facade is just like not there, and they
Right.
meet themselves again. It's like, oh, this is what
Yes.
I
Hmm.
truly feel like. Not all that muck I've been carrying around or titles and labels. It's
Right. And in and like children, that's
yes,
what they remind me of. They remind me of when they were children, the child face, the innocence, the
innocent.
vulnerability. Right.
So I feel that vibrational sound therapy really allows them the opportunity to meet their purest self.
Come back
That,
to themselves.
yeah, that energetic alignment is
Mhm.
visually seen.
Yeah. And in us too.
And it
and in
has,
the giver.
yeah,
Yeah, this is amazing. So did you use your voice in the session? It sounds like you did.
yes. At another previous group event, I did bring in some of the vocal toning with the
Cool.
crystal singing bowls, and that felt good. So it's just getting, I don't want to say comfortable, but the more we just practice it, right, it
It
gets
gets easier. Yes. Yes,
easier.
when you notice people don't, aren't putting their hands over their ears. Yeah, I remember. I mean, it's so similar to. It's not, but it is similar to, of course, the what we all go through as performers, um, and having the wonderful experience of being a performer for many years. I was, very blessed to have gone through that whole process of learning how to sing in front of people. Because singing is a very talk about vulnerable. It's a very exposed art form, and
Yes.
you are out there for the rest of the world. There's nothing to hide there. You can't hide behind anything, behind an instrument. You're right out there. And so I think that experience helped me tremendously in working with this new modality with the sound, and also allowing a new way of using my voice in the sessions to come through as in intuitive singing, and without worrying about being on pitch, or it's not a melody or words. It's just sounds that come out of me. So it's pretty
Organic
interesting,
sounds. Yeah.
organic sounding, or yeah, intuitive singing. Yeah. So that has been another whole nother level for me of my journey, and speaking, just like even doing like a little guided meditation, and not worrying about it having it be scripted or having to have bullet points. And is that something when you use your voice in your sessions, are you giving them like a guided meditation?
Yes, both in the one-to-ones and group setting.
Nice.
So I just, in the group sessions, I just try to energetically, I close my eyes, take a breath, and just energetically open up to feel maybe what I could pick up on energetically of what's being needed or wanted as far as the intention they may set or what brings them to want to explore vibrational sound therapy, and just really trusting, right, our gut feeling, our intuition of what comes up, and I'll just start speaking that. So it's unscripted, and I say that I even at the end, if I'm just like, this is all unscripted, and I share that too. I share my humanness. I say, listen, this, I used to make a script, when I was younger, if I had to call, say, the bank or something, and I was so scared to
Mm.
speak that I had to write it all down and read it as if I'm reading a book. And to just show up and speak off the cuff and not have a script, for me, that's huge. And that's why I said in the post to the event that for me, doing these events, these offerings, is like jumping out of an airplane, that adrenaline rush, that facing life and feeling that rush, because I'm breaking free of something that seemed that it held me back for so long. And it's meeting myself, meeting that fear, meeting that young version of myself that couldn't speak for herself, that was so scared to be seen, that didn't want to be heard. Like everything is just hide me in the back, pretend I'm not there. So for me to even just sit there quietly and be seen is huge. And I share that. And that's medicine. And it is our humanness, our fears, our what we say, our insecurities, that is sharing that, not like you mentioned before, not wanting to be idolized or put up on a pedestal. Like, no, we're all capable of doing whatever we want. And it's believing that we can and just taking that one step. And then once we break through that fear, it's like, oh my goodness, what else can I do? What else can I do? And that's where I'm at. It's like, what else can I do? What else can I share? Because I'm helping myself through this. And in me sharing that story with others, I'm hoping it's helping that person help themselves as well. So, yeah,
Definite. Oh my gosh, yes. Beautifully put, really. I love the backdrop of that bird too.
that's my front porch. Yeah.
My gosh, what a beautiful sound. No,
Yeah, I
that was
love nature
yeah,
sounds.
beautifully put, really. That is, we don't, about talking about being in the body and having this experience of humanity. We've all been through our difficult parts of our lives. And I think obviously when we share those with others, and share even how they're still affecting us too, because it's not like all of a sudden you let go of all this stuff. It's really you're peeling, like I like to say, you're peeling the layers of an onion, and there's so much of it, and there's so much of it of what we hold in our bodies that's so subconscious, that's uh, in our physical body, in our energy body, and that the I think the work that you and I are doing is probably first and foremost for ourselves. And
Definitely.
then through the sharing of it, obviously we're helping other people and saying, hey, look, this is not everybody wants to go out and do this as a profession. So totally understand that. But certainly there are ways to incorporate small aspects of it, like using your own voice, which is what, you and I were working together on with my course, is just going outside in nature, listening to the sounds of nature, opening up your listening to a more conscious level, listening to your body, listening to your thoughts. What are your thoughts saying? Aren't they predominantly, a lot of times they're predominantly negative? Just
Yeah.
listening to that, having that awareness, making sound. Like when you were a kid, which can release so much, but because people are so afraid of doing that, even when they're by themselves, so there's so much that we can do to help ourselves, and that's really how I think, anybody that gets started in this work, I think that we come from wanting to heal ourselves, really, first and foremost. And we're just, for one reason or another, I'm a musician, so I was called to the sound. Of course, I'm called to the voice, using the voice, and then the instruments are an extension of my voice. But you don't it doesn't you can use sound in so many other different ways to help you as well. And I just feel like it's a journey, right? Isn't it a journey
Oh
that
my
we're
goodness.
all on with the sound therapy? So if you could put it down to just like a sentence, what would you say has been your greatest shift since you started this work?
Oh my goodness. Definitely loving myself. Put it in a sentence. Oh my goodness.
No,
Just
that's it.
fully
Loving yourself.
accepting, yeah,
Yeah.
loving myself, fully accepting who I am and releasing shame and just showing up and being me and doing all the things that light me up
And
because
stepping out. Yeah.
I deserve that. And in doing that, right, that's a gift to others. And it gives them the empowerment and the courage to do the same. So,
Wow. That's a lot. That's huge, isn't it? Yeah, it's huge. Something else is going on with sound therapy, with the application of the um, using of sound as a healing medium. I don't know if healing, but just expansive medium. It's almost like I feel like there's an expansion. Can you kind of get, yeah, but energetic expansion,
oh, yes.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
and
I,
the clients feel it too. I know that they don't, after one session, of course, that's not quite enough, but they know something happened. Not quite sure what, but yeah, because you have these experiences that are very, for lack of a better word, metaphysical experiences, where people are getting visited by departed loved ones in the sessions. They're journeying to what they feel are different timelines or something, or seeing different things that are almost like past life type of things, past life experiences that feel like their past life experiences. So there's something very, it's like it's uncovering our true nature in a way,
yes.
right? And I think that's just the vibration, literally, because we all say everything's vibration, even though I don't really not intuitively, intellectually, I get that. Okay, but do I really feel that I am vibration? I'm a vibrational being? No, I don't 100% feel that. But I think that I'm starting to because of this work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel that the more that we are exposed to it, the more that we are receiving these vibrations, these frequencies. I see it as we're this instrument. And like how every instrument needs to be in tune, right? Otherwise, it's not harmonious. It's off a little bit. And vibrational sound therapy, it's tuning us, tuning our beautiful instrument so that we can, number one, feel harmonious, because that's what I hear. It's like, oh, I just feel more peaceful. I feel easeful. I feel calm, but I also feel energetic. I feel like I could seize the day. I feel like I could do anything. I feel so light. I feel clarity. Oh, I know what to do with that situation. That problem I came in and talked about, I have clarity. I know what I'm going to do. And I didn't offer them any advice, but the instruments provided, like you said, this expansion because it's moving density that we carry, that energetic load, that emotional load that we carry sometimes is so unaware because we've been carrying it for so long that it just becomes part of our daily weight. But after a session, an hour, that's where they feel that shift like, oh my goodness, I feel so much lighter.
Sure, and you can carry other people's energies as well,
Yes,
right? If, especially if you're enmeshed in them in a very deep relationship, of in a big relationship, like a spouse
definitely.
or a child, or yeah, sure. And sometimes they're not. We're all made up of all these different levels and frequencies, right? Not nobody's completely in tune, so to speak. So
No,
we
not
have
all the time. No,
we
no.
have our discordant energies, our discordant frequencies that we pass on to other people, or we take in from other people, for their discordant frequencies. So it's interesting, isn't it, to think of that, to think of us as being retuned, but it literally is because we're like a symphony of frequencies
We are.
in our bodies. Our cells actually, they found out they actually talk to one another, communicate with frequency and vibration, among other things. Our skin has receptor cells on the surface that have little antenna called cilia that take in the sound like it's nourishment. So
Yeah.
we're literally wired for this, wired for sound, so to speak. Yeah, it's
We are
got
intelligence. I believe we are this intelligence that we ourselves don't know how powerful we are. Yeah.
no, there's some, I mean, because it's the unseen, the unfelt. You're just really going on faith. With, obviously when you start having experiences that are out of the normal, you start going, oh, okay, okay. You know, like when I'm in the studio working on somebody and I see this, looks like a little tiny, brighter than the sun comet moves right past me and out the wall. Uh, I mean, what do you do with that? What? I've never seen anything like that, but I certainly have started to since I've been doing this work.
Yes.
So
A
what
hundred
am I, right?
100%. And I wanted to share my experience with a one-on-one session with you, Ruth, that was not so long ago. And it was when you use the voice. And I know you share that very often is you hear that. It's when I use my voice, when I brought my voice into the session. And for me, it's every time as well. And when you started to use your voice, I felt this presence. My eyes were closed, but there was this presence. And with my eyes closed, I could see that it was a woman and she was dressed in red. And then there was another woman towards my feet on the left, and you were on my right. And this woman that was by my shoulders, she started breathing like over me. And at first, I thought like you were doing maybe something, and because I felt this wind or this air, but this woman was blowing over me like she was cleansing and clearing me. That's
Amazing.
the message I got. And that's how profound this is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing, isn't it? There are some people that just work with the voice without any of the other instruments, and perfectly fine. I mean, if not better. That's why I say the instruments are an extension of my voice, because our voices are literally made up of an unbelievable amount of overtones and frequencies that far exceed any bowls you could buy, and play really. So I think that there's something far more, as you say, profound and far-reaching and more comprehensive, if it were, as it were, um, that to affect you on so many different layers and different levels. So that's, yeah, that's incredible. I feel very blessed to have gotten into this, as they say, this line of work. It doesn't feel like work though.
Not at all. No.
No, such an exploration. It's an inner exploration for us as practitioners, and obviously, for our clients as well. So it's been such a blessing and a joy, and and an eye-opening, amazing experience to the magic, the real magic of the nature of reality and who we are, the nature of us.
Yeah.
I was standing outside on my porch the other day, and I'm noticing lately too, talk about the shifts in when you practice sound therapy, becoming more sensitive emotionally, like your emotions are more on the surface. Of course, we don't want that, right? Because we don't want to be crying all the time and all that. But yeah, I get moved by nature. I was standing and listening to, we've had a lot of thunderstorms, and outside on the porch, listening to the feeling and listening to the thunder, I was just crying because I was so moved by it.
Yes, I agree, Ruth. Oh my goodness, and I have to say, it's vibrational sound therapy
It
because
is,
I've
yeah.
done other healing modalities, and the most profound has been vibrational sound therapy. It creates such an awareness in all of the senses. I feel,
Yes.
especially the ears. I'm able to tap into every sound and hear that frequency, and like the frequency of the sound of thunder and the feel, and how we can become one with that sound. And
Mhm.
that's what sounds like what you experience is be
Absolutely.
one with that
Mhm.
frequency vibration of thunder.
Right? Or even the lightning bugs,
uh,
fireflies. I saw the first firefly and I start crying. I was outside in the beautiful, coming up from the grass, and it's just
and
magical.
it's
I
being
mean,
so connected. It's just
and
being
yes,
so connected to
yes.
every living being and feeling it and feeling it.
And feeling it. Yes, that's the thing. Because, especially when I think you have a traumatic background growing up as well as I did, as well as an alcoholic family dynamic, and then losing my family before age 30 and going through all the grief and the trauma. A lot of times your emotions are stuffed down, right? And you kind of grow up not really feeling, not allowing yourself to feel because you weren't taught to, or when you did feel, you got slammed down or abused, one way or the other. So your emotions are you're very much almost like bifurcated in a way. You're not really feeling those like lower chakra emotions. You're not able to do that. So when you start to do this work, it lightens it up, as you said, very, very well. You are releasing a lot of that constriction in your emotional body and the energy body, to be able to feel more deeply. And that's beautiful. And yeah, sure, we want to all feel good? No, we can't feel good all the time. Do we want to? Of course. Uh, but it's to be okay with not feeling okay all the time, to let those emotions move through us so they can be released and transmuted. And that's what the work that we were doing with the voice too, to let your voice be the vehicle to express those emotions. And that has helped me so much, on top of the sound therapy, to be able to really feel more authentically. And it's beautiful, truly. And that's what the tears are from, I believe. Them being moved at that level.
That's so beautiful, Ruth. Yes, yes, I agree. I agree.
So this has been a wonderful talk with you, really, and just trying to keep it real here, right? Just sharing who we are, what our experiences, and hoping that you out there listening will just take what resonates and leave the rest, but just at the very least you know, to get a sense of, there she is. She's expressing herself.
You want to say hi?
Hey, Julie. What a pleasure talking to you today, really. Thank you.
I'm excited to do this again. I'm excited to do and keep sharing, right? Just keep sharing.
Yes, because it helps us to share our voice with each other, and it helps us to share our voices with the audience as well. That's right. I just had this idea. I really want to get on a call with Bertharis and a Zoom call, and I really felt this strongly today to do this with you because I feel that there's just something so wonderful in the sharing of it to help people.